How to make money fast on YouTube in Zimbabwe. So in this video, I'm going to explain exactly the steps. I'll take you through the process of how to do just that, and I'll give you real life examples of how you can make money fast on YouTube in Zimbabwe. Before I go any further, I want to ask you that if you are not subscribed to this channel, please do go ahead and subscribe so that you can get to learn more of these amazing videos. Without wasting much time, let us move on to the next step. So one thing that I want you to understand, when I say fast, what does that mean? A lot of people, when they look at the internet, when they look at YouTube, they want to make money fast as possible. So what does the term fast mean? And I'm going to explain based on this video what it means. Number one, the word fast simply means you need to act fast with the concept that I'm gonna be telling you. And then what the word fast means as well. Okay, the word fast means if you go up faster, you will also go down faster. Okay. So the reason why I want you to keep this in mind is that the concept that I'm going to show you is a concept that requires you to act a little bit faster because you are going to make money faster, but the concept as well can actually die sooner than you think. Okay, it can actually die sooner than you think. It's not gonna last forever based on the examples that I'm gonna be giving you. So there is the fast aspect. So there's gonna be fast action, fast money, and then fast dies out. I'm gonna be explaining what it means. I don't want to scare you, but keep in mind it's exactly what I'm gonna be sharing with you. So the process is covered in what I call 4 steps. Okay, so let me explain the 4 steps right here. So there's number one, which is called the trends. Okay, when you look at the trends, we're saying what is trending right now in in Zimbabwe. What is it that people are talking about? What is that people are discussing in WhatsApp groups, in Facebook groups, and anything in between? But at the end of the day, it's not any kind of trend that you want to look at. You want to look at a business trend, okay? At a business trend or an opportunity opportunity trend. That's what you need to look at. And as you go through this video, you're going to understand exactly what I mean. So when we look at trends, we're saying, what is it that people are talking about now? What is it that people are making money with right now? What is that people are buying right now? So those kind of questions are the ones that you need to ask. Don't worry about anything. I'm going to be giving you the steps, okay, the real life examples. And then you need to look at the product. Okay, let's say you've identified a business trend, you've identified a business trend, and what you need to do now is to come up with a product or service. Okay, you need to come up with a product or service as fast as you can. Okay, as fast as you can, create that product, create that service, have a setup done. Okay, once you have a setup done, you then have to go ahead and create the content. And you have to create the content, and the best place that we are saying you need to upload your content on is going to be on YouTube. This is the very first place that you need to upload your content. And now once you have created your content, you also now need to promote that content. When you're talking of promoting that content, we're looking at sharing on Facebook, sharing on WhatsApp, all those kind of things that you do in terms of getting people to have a look at your YouTube videos. So, in a nutshell, this is a 4 step framework where number one, you look at the trends, number two, you create the service, number four, you create the content, and then you promote the content. It doesn't work that you look at a trend and say, oh, people are making money with this in Zimbabwe right now, and you don't want to create the service. It doesn't work. And you can go ahead and find the trend, you create the service, and you don't want to create the content. It doesn't work. Once you create the content needs to be promoted. So if you don't do these 4 steps, then you're not going to make it what I'm gonna explain here. Okay. Now, moving forward, let's just look at real life example. Okay, I'm gonna give you this term. Okay, I'm gonna give you this term, and I'm gonna explain exactly what it means. Okay, and we are also going to look at this term as well. So now this is the real life example that I've done, which you can also do an exercise on to just prove me wrong or to prove me right. So let us go to Google, to YouTube a little bit, and then we can search for these two terms. Okay, Bitcoin in Zimbabwe, and then I'm gonna come back, and then we can actually continue with our lesson. So let me just go ahead and go to YouTube. Now, if you go on YouTube and type these words, okay, you can do this exercise. Do this, okay? How to buy Bitcoin? How to buy Bitcoin in Zimbabwe? How to buy Bitcoin in Zimbabwe? Just go ahead and search that term. You search how to buy Bitcoin in Zimbabwe. Okay. Let me say how to buy and sell Bitcoin in Zimbabwe. And sell Bitcoin in Zimbabwe. How to buy and sell Bitcoin in Zimbabwe. It could be how to buy Bitcoin in Zimbabwe, or how to buy and sell Bitcoin in Zimbabwe, whichever works. Okay. So as you can see, this is a video of mine that is on number one. I created this video 4 years ago, and it's sitting. It's my name is Kuda Online anyway. So this is a video that I've done. Okay, and it has got 4,000 views. And this is a picture of me explaining how to buy and sell Bitcoin in 2022. And I've done this video for 4,000 views as well 4 years ago. And if I scroll down, there are other people that are talking about Bitcoin and things like that. So if I scroll down again, you're going to see how to buy Bitcoin in 2019. That's a video of mine. How to buy and sell Bitcoin 2018. That's a video of mine as well, 7 years ago. And if I can actually scroll down, you come across a lot of my videos. This is a video of mine as well. This is another video of mine, how to earn Bitcoin, 4 ways to earn Bitcoin. This is another 4 ways to earn Bitcoin in Zimbabwe, another video of mine. Okay, why am I showing you this? Getting started with Bitcoin and cryptocurrency in Zimbabwe. This is another video of mine as well. Okay, let me just not go further. Okay, I'm gonna go and open YouTube again. So the next term that we're going to search here is how to go to UK as an S8 in Zimbabwe. Okay, how to go to UK as a S8 in Zimbabwe. Okay, so what we are looking at, this is Kuda Online, and this is me explaining, gathering the details of going to UK as an S8. And this is again me explaining how much does it cost to go to UK as an S8. And this, if I scroll down again, this is another video of me, 11 important things you should do while in Zimbabwe before you go to UK as an S8. And if I scroll down again, this is a picture of me. Do you need Red Cross to go to? Do you need what kind of certificates do you need to go to UK? And all these videos are mine. Okay, Kuda Online, there's Kuda Online, there's Kuda Online, there's Kuda Online, there's Kuda Online. So let us go back to the lessons so that you can we can proceed. Okay. Now, remember we said let us look at trends when I started explaining this concept. We are looking at trends, right? Let me go ahead and go to. We are looking at trends. That's what you need to look at. For those of you, you may have heard Bitcoin from a lot of people. And right now, the term Bitcoin is kind of died down. Okay, a lot of people are not talking about it. There are a few individuals, yes, but there was a time when almost everyone was just like Bitcoin, 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 right? And then there was a time as well when everyone was talking about being an S8 in UK. And how many people speak about it now? Because the trend has actually gone down. Okay. So let me um, let me go further so that you can understand exactly what I'm talking about here. Now, Let us look at the concept of you having done the process that I've spoken about, whereby you look at a trend, you create the content, you create the service, and then you promote. So this is exactly what I need to explain based on real life example that I've actually been giving you. Okay. Now, let us look at, there was a time when a lot of people were talking about Bitcoin. So what I then did was to create content for Bitcoin because it was trending. So the content pieces that I created is how, what, where, why. Okay? How to send Bitcoin, how to receive Bitcoin, how to avoid scams in Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin? Where to buy Bitcoin? Why is Bitcoin trending? I created all those content pieces about Bitcoin, right? And then what is the service? The service that I was doing in Bitcoin was to buy and sell. I was helping people to buy and sell Bitcoin. And then what I then did, I had to use social media to promote this content. And people would come to my YouTube. Once they come to my YouTube, a lot of the people who come to my YouTube looking at the Bitcoin series, they would approach me to buy, to either buy or sell. This is where I would make the money. Okay. So the time that Bitcoin was trending, yes, there was a lot of people that came to me whom I facilitated to buy and sell, and I got my cut. And that happened fast, and that went away again fast. Okay, it's no longer trending right now. It's not money that I can safely rely on. So this is the first concept that I need to explain. Now let us look at the trend for nest eggs. There was a time when almost everyone was talking about nest eggs every corner. This person went to UK. The kind of content that I created was what, how, why, where, in XYZ. Anything that people would ask for. So I used WhatsApp, really. I used WhatsApp and Facebook to find what questions people are actually asking for. So a lot of people were asking, how do people go to UK as a nurse aid? I gathered that information. Why are people going, and where do people get a passport? Where do they get a driver's license? What sort of things are needed? What is the 11 important things that are needed? I created that content. I promoted that content on FB and WhatsApp because simply I identified a trend, right? And when I identified this trend, I asked what kind of questions are people asking. I created content around that. And when I was actually going on Facebook and WhatsApp, people would be like, oh, this is exactly what I was actually looking for. Okay. Now let us talk about the service. What kind of service? How did I profit from this project? I had to say, okay, if these people are looking at my content as nurse aides, what kind of service do they need? They need services like CV writing, right? They need services like getting a driver's license. These are the services that they needed. They need a service like photocopying. Okay. They need a service like IELTS. They needed, this one was very important because for someone to get to UK as an SA, they needed to make sure that they passed the English test, right? So what we then did, I'm not an English teacher, but I had to find a friend who is an English teacher. We had to do a collab. I said, look, there is a trend that is happening right now in Zimbabwe, and we need to act as fast as we can to make sure that when I create this content, when people come, they come and learn. When they come to learn from us, and then they pay. This is how the money was made. And it happened fast, and it went away fast as well. So the process was, we created this content. And once we created this content, we pushed a lot of people to come for lessons. through the content. Yes, we give them value, but at the end of the day, they are paying the money for lessons anyway. So they preferred us because this is the concept. Now, let me give you now examples of things that are trending right now that you can also do. Let us look at InDrive. This is an example. I'm not saying go ahead and do that. This is an example. This is InDrive. Right now, InDrive is actually trending. And do you know what people are actually asking for? What? Why? How? Where? XYZ. And more questions. So, content piece like, what is InDrive and how does it work? Why does people prefer InDrive compared to general taxis? How to get a ride on InDrive? How to book a ride? You know, you'll be doing a video on the mobile app. How to pay for InDrive in Zimbabwe? Where to get InDrive in Zimbabwe? Is InDrive available in Marondera? Is InDrive available? Blah 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 blah. How to stay safe in InDrive? How to check what kind of different vehicles that can be used in InDrive? Okay, so you're creating that content, and now what is the service that you need to offer or the product that you need to offer? Okay, probably you can get into sales. You can get into car sales, okay, and sell the cars that can be used for InDrive. Is that making sense? Because I'm going to give you a very good example why you may need to get into sales. Okay. So what if you don't own a garage? You may say, ah, Kuda, you know what? I don't know. I don't own a castle. Uh, how then can I do this? Do you remember when I actually started the English lessons? I looked at the trend. I was like, okay, there's money to be made here. And then I had to look for a friend who is an English teacher. Okay. So in your case, if you want to do the InDrive part, you can actually find a car sale that you can sell their vehicles on their behalf. Okay. If you're a car sale, then definitely this is a good deal. And then you can be paid a commission. I mean, you can be paid maybe 100 or 200, whatever the money that you get. But you understand what I'm talking about. But again, I believe that InDrive is there to stay. But again, I have a feeling that this is a fast trend which may die pretty soon. So the money has to be made while it's possible. Okay, so let us go ahead and look at another trending thing, which is called Starlink. Starlink right now is pretty much trending. Um, you can also do the same. You document how much is Starlink, how to install Starlink, what is Starlink and how does it work, how is it compared to the other service providers, and the offer that you offer there is the service. You can offer Starlink installation services, and then you make the money. And I believe that probably this is going to be fast, but again, I'm not sure how long this is going to stay, but this is just an example that I can give. There's more and more examples. Just look at what people are actually talking about. Now, I know I may give this example, but I hope I won't get in trouble by mentioning this name. Okay, but this is just I'm a fan of his work. I look at his videos almost every single day. But I want to give you a very good example of people's behaviors based on search terms. And this is very clear. Someone can come here and say, um, how does InDrive work? Someone is searching for that term. The chances are 90% of someone who is asking how does InDrive work, he has money in their pocket to start the business. Okay? If someone goes on YouTube and say comic elder latest, this person is looking for entertainment. Okay? There is a higher chance that this person does not have an intention to buy. Okay, let us not say this person does not have money, does not have an intention to buy. I go and look at his videos almost every single day because I'm looking for entertainment. Okay, but if I go and say this term, 90% chance is that I want to buy. So When someone comes with this intention to buy, what they are looking for answers. Okay. And what your YouTube is going to do now, your YouTube is going to give them the answers, right? Once you give them the answers, by the time they reach out to you, they say, by the time they call you, they've already made a decision to pay you money because number one, you've actually built trust. Number two, you've actually answered their most burning questions on your YouTube channel. So ideally, this is the concept that I've actually used to make money fast and with trends that are happening around Zimbabwe. I hope you really understand what I'm explaining. Now, what you need to make sure you do as well, this is very, very important. You need to dominate that niche as fast as possible. Like I said, once you identify that there is a trend, remember in the very first minutes, we said if it goes up fast, if you want to do it fast, it may also die also fast. Okay. So you need to dominate that niche as possible. When we're saying dominate, a lot of people, when they want to get on YouTube, they can create a YouTube video that is one piece and that is very long, that explains everything. That explains everything. If you do this, you may not win. What you need to do when I'm talking about you dominating, what I'm saying is that break down your videos to why, what, how, where, XYZ. So now break down the videos into smaller parts, answering a niche, even a simplest question that if someone can actually ask, okay, as fast as possible. You put that content, you have the service in place, and then you're going to see a lot of sales coming in. So, in closing, am I closing now? I know you guys are getting a lot of information from here, but I'm almost done. What you need to do in your videos, make sure that you are sharing information, you're sharing info. Try and educate as much as possible. Awareness, that's what you want to bring. Okay? And in your videos, only sell 5 to 10% of the time. So if your video is 10 minutes long, probably spend the last maybe 30 minutes, 30 seconds selling, or maybe 1 minute selling. That's the concept. The rest of the time you need to give as much info as you can and bring awareness so that the person can make what I call an informed decision. Okay. So when they look at your video, they're gonna like, oh, we trust this person. They can actually offer this service. So with that said, let me see if I can start selling now. I've given you a lot of information, and now I'm spending the last 30 seconds or a minute or so, to invite you to be part of our community. Okay, you can learn more at this website, which is called Kukoka. My upcoming videos is how to make recurring money on YouTube. So when I'm talking about recurring money, I'm saying how then do you set up a system where you can get money on a monthly basis, okay, without fail. This is money that continues to come in. Another video, I'm going to talk about how to make money on a long term, setting up things for long. Remember, we spoke about this is fast, it may die soon, and we are aware that okay, what we're doing is something that we're just going to do pretty much faster. And now we're looking at okay, how can we keep on generating the money using YouTube, and how can we create a long-term sustainable business? Subscribe to this channel, visit this website, and I'll see you on the next lesson, and bye bye.